So I wanted to just backtrack so people know who you are. You and your kids moved to Flint in 2013.
Yes. Me and my daughter and son moved here in 2013, and actually it's been here about 4.5, almost 5 years now.
And when you moved here, obviously they switched the water in 2014, but
Right.
you,
When I moved here, I still noticed when we ran the water how the water would like run out brown. But I was thinking I just moved into this house, so I was thinking that it's probably rusted pipes or whatever. But it was like a foul smell also. I mean, this happened when I first moved here. When I come out the shower, I would like break out in hives, bumps all over, and every time I would go to Hurley, they would give me forgot the name of it, but they said that I had allergic reaction. So they were giving me Benadryl. So I'm like, the Benadryl will stop the itching, but no sooner than I get in the water again, break out with these bumps and rashes all over again. So I'm like, it's got to be something in the water.
was that before the water switch?
Yes, that was before the water switch. That was when I first moved down here in 2013. I started noticing that. So I found out I was pregnant in 2015. And I started having complications from the day that I found out that I was pregnant. I stayed going back and forth to the emergency room, stayed with complications, and I ended up having a miscarriage. And when I went back for a follow-up with my OB doctor, they were like, they got a heartbeat. So I'm like, wait a minute, Hurley just told me that I miscarried. Now you're telling me that there's a heartbeat. And that's when they gave me an ultrasound, and there was 2 sacs. So it was two babies, which I didn't know until they got the second heartbeat. And so I thought the second baby would be my miracle baby and that baby would make it. But 2 months and a week into my second trimester, I ended up losing the second baby.
And at the time, you were, sorry to blow up your spot, but you were 40 at that time.
Yes.
And the doctors kind of, I guess, seemed to be kind of dismissive that it wasn't because of lead or anything like that?
Yes, they weren't trying to say that it was the water, even though every time I went to the emergency room, I told them, look, every time I get into this water, I break out. Y'all keep giving me Benadryl. It stops the itching, but no sooner than I get into the water, I break out again. Then I started noticing my daughter's hair was falling out. I never did really notice nothing with my son because he's always in the tub. He never wants to get out, but for some reason, nothing really happened to him besides the behavior and stuff.
And they were trying to tell you that you probably miscarried because you were 40 and...
Yeah, they were trying to tell me that I'm like too old and that my eggs are old, but my mom has had my little sister at the age of 45, so I know I'm not too old. Plus, they're not God. You can't put an age limit on who can and cannot have babies. I know somebody 50 that had a baby, so... I don't believe that. I really do believe that this water, from us consuming all of this stuff, that is what caused my miscarriages. And I do believe that I cannot have children anymore because this was in 2015 when I miscarried the first twins. Then in 2017, a week before my birthday, I miscarried twins again. So it's like I don't even think that I can carry babies anymore because of consuming all of this lead and heavy metals and other bacteria that was up in this water that they're not even really talking about. Okay, yeah, they're trying to say that the lead is out and that this water is fine, but they're not even telling the citizens and the residents and anyone else about all of the other heavy carcinogens and bacteria that's in the water also.
And you you had 2 children to term. You have a 19-year-old, you have a 9-year-old.
10 years apart at that, to term. 10 years apart. So I don't believe nothing about my eggs are too old. I just don't believe that. It was the water.
And also, like, putting aside Flint, women are giving birth later and later. You see women giving birth in their 40s. Obviously, there's more risk when you get pregnant in your 40s, but at the end of the day, every study shows if you consume a lot of lead, it puts you at great risk for miscarriages.
Right. And then also, I'm 40. It's like if I was at that much of risk, I wouldn't keep getting pregnant with not 1 but 2 babies. If I was at that much of a risk, how could I keep producing twins instead of 1 baby? I really do believe that it was the water. And plus, there has been so many miscarriages, and some babies have died because of the switch from this water crisis.
Yeah, the Washington Post did a story. Basically, there was a crazy spike in miscarriages, infant mortality, between the time the water was switched and I believe a year or two after that.
Yes, there was. And I really believe, I know, I don't have any proof because Hurley is not trying to, they're not trying to put it up in my paperwork or nothing. But like I said, this should follow us just like anything else goes up into our records through the hospital. This should be up in the records that, yes, this lady was drinking the contaminated water, and yes, this could have, but they don't even want to do that. But I know for a fact that it was the water, me consuming this water. If I would not have moved to Flint and I would have got pregnant, everything would have been all right. But me consuming this water and all this shit, the babies cannot live.
Well, let me give you a little behind the scenes. You probably don't even know this. So I had one outlet that was interested in publishing the piece. I'll say it, the Daily Beast. So the Daily Beast, pretty well-known outlet. I think they're fairly establishment on politics. But anyway, they were interested in publishing the piece. But their main objection was me putting you in the story, not because they don't like you, but because, well, it's kind of speculative, that just you trying to make it seem like she miscarried 4 babies in 2 years. The doctor said it was age. So, and I said to him, so you just believe everything a doctor tells you?
Right.
And the doctors, I've talked to many residents, the doctors have basically been telling residents who are having kidney problems, liver problems, cognitive problems, it's not the lead. It's not the lead. So it seems to me like doctors here, I don't want to say all doctors are bad, but they've been very careful about not attributing illnesses to lead.
I agree. That's one reason why really I didn't even mess with Hurley. With the second pregnancy, I went all the way out to Grand Blanc. But still there, it was like they were not trying to say like this could be happening from the water crisis. They're not trying to say that. But of course they're not trying to say it because they're trying to say that the water here is fine. Bullshit. It's not fine. We're still struggling in Flint. They have cut off the source of us getting our water, which Governor Snyder, when he started the pods, he said that he would not stop the water until all of the infrastructure was fixed. And all of the infrastructure is not fixed, and they have closed down the pods. That is ridiculous. I don't see how the government, state, whoever is letting him do this.
And obviously, let's keep it real. It's not like these people around here are rolling in it financially to go buy stacks and stacks of bottled water now that the water pods have been shut down.
Right. No. It's ridiculous. I have to spend money for water now because the pods have closed and I can't even go nowhere to get water for me and my kids.